Good morning, everyone. It's Alison Sullivan with Stamp Crazy with Alison. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Westminster, British Columbia, just on the west coast of Canada. So, welcome if this is your first time joining me, or if you are a regular visitor, welcome back. I'm just going to click on here so I can see comments. I'm going to wait for someone to pop on and tell me if they can hear me. I usually check it on my iPad, but I keep forgetting to bring it back downstairs. So I just count on someone popping on and saying, I can hear you, I can see you, all is good. Hi, Keisha, good morning. Keisha is my unofficial tech person. So she's going to tell me if she can hear me this morning. Can you hear me, Keisha? Please say yes. Please say yes. Sure you can. Alrighty, I'm going to take a bit of a risk today. It's all good, thank you. I'm going to take a bit of a risk today. I had a project all ready to go. It was super cute. It was using the Sunny Days DSP from the celebration. Oh, hi Modi, thanks. I was going to use the hot air balloons. I was going to use the, hi Ellie. I was going to use the coordinating stamps and dies for that Sunny Days paper. And then I was playing last night again with an oldie, real oldie but goodie fun fold. And at 9:15 this morning, I thought, maybe let's show that. So I'm taking a risk because I haven't practiced it enough, probably. But you guys are all friends, so it'll all be good. So let's go over here. And I'll show you what we're going to be working with. And okay, so we are going to be working with. I think it's my favorite suite, although I do like a few suites. But we're going to be using the Nature Sweetness Suite collection. I love this. It's kind of my. I used to do a lot of what I'd call shabby chic or vintage looking cards, and then I got away from it, and then this suite kind of brings it all back, all the things that I love. Okay, so we've got the two stamp sets, so it's a mega suite, I'd say. So we've got the Notes of Nature and the Lovely and Sweet stamps, and we have coordinating dies for both bundles. So when you buy a bundle, if you buy it together, the dies and the stamps, you save 10%. So that's the way to go. Okay. Now the suite also has some other items. Let me grab those. Put that aside for a sec. I'm offering a class with Nature Sweetness on February 17th. I hope you'll join. It's online. It's virtual. You can join from anywhere. It comes with a kit. If you live in Canada, you'll get the card kit. And the card kit has a full sheet of each of the designer series papers. So here they are. Now for mailing, I cut them to 6 by 12 because otherwise it would be a fortune to mail in Canada. So you're going to get a whole half a package of this, right? So you can get all of this. Look at the beautiful gold accents. Love this. You're going to get a full package of the cork rounds. You can see I've been working my way through these, but you're going to get a full pack. And you're going to get a 5 yards, so half a roll of the faux leather trim, which is really fabulous. Plus, we're going to make 6 cards. We're going to make 3 designs. You're going to get the consumables to make 2 of each card. And then we'll gather together on February 17th at 10 a.m. on Facebook, and we'll make the cards together. Or a lot of you don't like Facebook, or you don't like doing cards on Facebook. So I will be recording my Facebook Lives and uploading them to YouTube and sending you the links so you can watch it there at your leisure. So that's the class. Okay. Now, also want to mention that the links for the class are on this video. But I also want to mention, if you purchase either one of the bundles, I'm going to increase the designer series paper to be a full pack. So you're going to get a full pack bonus. And if you buy the suite, you're going to get the class for free. No, yeah, the whole collection. You're going to get the the class for free. So that's a savings of $45. All right. So today, here's my risk. Ooh, here we go. We're going to make this card. It's very pretty. Yeah. But the fun part is it's called a twist and pop. So can you see that? It twists and pops. Okay. So I'm going to spend most of the time showing you how to make the mechanics of this card, and then we'll make some of the elements. Okay. So we're going to start with a piece of cardstock. So I've got pecan pie here. I've cut it to 11 by 4 1/4, and we've scored it at 5 1/2. Okay, so let's just give that a nice little crease. There we go. I can set that aside for a sec. Gee, you know, sometimes that looks wider than 4 1/4, and it is. I don't know why I cut it to 4 1/2. I must have 4 1/2 in my brain somewhere. Probably because we always score at 4 1/2, right? So let's go 4 1/4. So 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored at 5 1/2. Ooh, okay. Give that a nice little score. Then I've got a piece here. We need the little mechanism for the inside. So this piece here is cut to 3 by 8. I'm just going to double check. 8 by 3. Okay. Let's bring in our trimmer because we're going to need our scoring blade. Now, if you prefer, you can use our scoring platform, right? That works well too, but I'm just going to use my scoring blade in my trimmer. So what I want to do is I want to create half a score line that cuts this in half and a score line that's half here. So this is going to be on the, I'd call it the long side. It's going to be scored at 3 1/2. And it's going to be scored at 4. Okay. The next thing I want to do is mark from each edge. So from this edge and this edge, I want to mark it at 2 1/2. So I'm just going to put a little pencil mark at 2 1/2 on each side. Move that down and go 2 1/2 and 2 1/2. Okay. Now what we want to do is take our trimmer and we're going to line up that 2 1/2 mark there and this 2 1/2 mark. So this one and this one, and we're just going to be scoring this way. So I'm lining up those two little marks in the channel of the trimmer. Give that a score. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we've got our pencil and pencil. We go. Okay, so we've got, I don't know if you can see that, we've got a score line here and a score line here, here, and here. Now, one of the things I found our most important thing to do is to make sure that you use your bone folder and really, really score on these lines. Okay, so each one of these, you get a nice, crisp score line. Including the one in the middle. Okay. So once you've got all those done, this is kind of the well, I wouldn't say it's not tricky, but it plays with my brain for some reason. I have no idea why, but it does. But if you take the two long, I would call it the long scores, does that make sense? And you just push them together, then score again, just to make sure you've got that nice and scored. You end up with something that looks like a little house. Hi, Diane. How are you? Good morning. So you got a little house. It's really cute. Okay. I'm just going to bring in a scrap. This is one I did earlier, but basically what you're doing is you're just folding these in together. Okay. Now, sometimes I would get myself messed up and I do this. I'll show you what I do. And then I get all flustered. I'd end up with this. This is the house that I want, not this house, okay? And I think, so what I found is if I do this by mistake, it's super simple. I just folded this over like this. And I just folded it over like this. And I ended up with my little house. Okay, so you just have to watch the video again and again and you'll figure it out. Okay, I just really want those crisp. Okay. Now, back to my card base. Now, people do this differently. I'm going to just take some cardstock. You don't have to do it this way. You can use designer series paper if you want. I'll show you another sample later where I use designer series paper. But for this card, I'm just going to put in plain. It's a place to write your sentiment. Now these are, I got 2 of these. They're both cut the same to 4 by 5 1/4. Go. Let's just lay those in like so. Same on this side. You know, it's funny. I was using this paper and I always think that the vanilla would be better because, you know, it's sort of that heritage look. But the paper, the designer series paper, is actually white. And so I just go with white. Okay. Now you can add a little strip of decoration. I've just got some designer series paper strips here. I think these are 1/2 or are they 3/4? 3/4. 3/4 by 4. And I'm just going to lay that down on the edge. Whoops. And then the same at the top. I didn't want to use too much of my designer series paper. I didn't want to use too much of it here. Saving it a bit. I'm a bit stingy with my DSP. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to put this mechanism inside so that we can get it working. So I'm going to grab my ruler and I'm going to measure halfway, which is at 4 1/4. Halfway is 2 1/8. And I'm just going to put a little pencil mark just at the fold. Okay, so here's the fold. And there's my pencil mark. Probably can't see it. Now, what I want to do is grab glue. Now, you can use whatever glue you want. I love my white glue. Allows me to move things around if I make a mistake too, which, if you guys know me well, you know I make mistakes. I'm going to take that little point and I'm going to just put it below, just slightly below that fold. Okay, because you want your card to be able to open and close. So I'm going to just do this, make sure it opens. Yeah. And it gets a bit thick, so don't worry too much. I've had it where I've had to recrease that, and it's no big deal. Okay, so let's give that a rub, and then we can glue this piece. Right. Just hold that down. You guys have probably all made one of these years ago. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is one we used to do all the time. I found an old card that I'd made and I thought, oh, can I remember how to do that? So that's what our little gizmo is going to look like. So you can see as this opens, that's going to create that little pop. Okay, so that's the pop part. This is the pop. And now we're going to create the twist. Okay. So let's grab another piece. Now this one here is cut 3 3/4 by 11. And we're going to score it again. So again, we're going to do it at the halfway mark, which is 5 1/2. And then we're going to create 4 panels. So we're going to do half of this again, which is 2 3/4. And let's face it, who likes math? So I'm not going to shove it along and figure it out. I'm just turning the whole piece and doing this 2 3/4 from this end too. It's the poor man easy way, right? And again, we want to make sure that we've got a nice crisp crease. Now, this is where personal preference comes into it. You can go ahead and decorate these panels and then assemble the card. But personally, I have found that when I have too much stuff on my panels, it fights me trying to put it in there, okay? So I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in now, okay? So we're going to take our panel, I'm going to fold it up. This is our end panel, right? This is the one that's going to be on the right, and this is going to be on the left. So I'm going to bring this in, and I'm just going to put my thinking cap on here. Let's see here. I made myself some notes. I'm going to center the booklet at the top, ends upward just inside this with the back page facing up. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So this is going to be here, and this is going to fold onto here. I want to make sure that I'm not losing my mind, because at this point this would be sad. But that's what we're going to do, and then it's going to open. This is one of these things. I woke up this morning thinking, should I show them that? And I thought, oh yeah, I should show them. And then I'm thinking, should I show them? Let me just double check, okay, you guys, because it would be really awful. Just going to recheck my notes. I'm going to center my booklet at the top of the open card, which is this part, with the ends facing upward and the back page facing up. Okay, so the ends meaning these edges, okay? That's what I meant. And then that should be right. Ooh, okay. Everybody take a deep breath. Okay, so we just want it a little bit down because you don't want it exposed on the outside of that card, right? That would be, ugh. Okay. Now we're going to put some glue on this piece. Now, you see you've got kind of a little triangular area here. This is where we're putting our glue. We're putting our glue here. Okay, I'm going to just make a little X. Hopefully you can see. We're going to put a little bit of glue there. Okay, and I'm just using my white glue, and I am not measuring. I'm just kind of doing it from an inch. That's about right. Looks good. Okay, and then when I close this, we're going to hope, I'm going to do this. We're just going to close it just like that. This is where we're going to take a deep breath and hope that this is correct, but I'm pretty sure it is. And I'm just going to squeeze it. You made tons of these, but I forgot. Yeah, I know, Allie. My sister Ellie was the one who taught me this, and she taught all these classes. She taught tons of these cards, but it was so long ago that when I wanted to make it again, I said, do you remember how to make these? And she's like, no. So I reminded myself how to do it, and she was my inspiration for even trying to do these. So thanks, Elle. Okay, so you can see that we've got that done. Now we've got this piece that's just kind of flopping here, right? It's going to have glue on this panel. Okay, so we've got it on the upper right and the lower left. Right, it's going to be like that. That's how it's going to open. So what we're going to do is, this is where it gets a little bit, you just have to kind of do a contortionist, but it's not hard. Okay, it's just not hard. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So we're going to go to close it just like we did. We're going to line that up, and we're just going to press. I love the white glue. I thought, oh, I should be using tear and tape. Nope, the white glue is perfect for this. Absolutely perfect. We're going to be a little bit longer today. I'm not going to make the whole card probably. I'm going to just show you some elements, and then I'll talk a bit about other things because you can decorate it any way you want. Ooh, and look at that. It works. Yay. Okay. Should we decorate? I've got a piece of the designer series paper. And on my original card, let me just have a wee look here. This is what I did. Okay. So this focal flower, you can stamp it and color it or leave it plain. Let me show you what it looks like. Here it is. But what's fantastic is this sheet of the designer series paper, all these elements can be cut out with the coordinating dies. Don't you love when Stampin' Up! Does that? I do. So I'm just going to grab the die and my piece. Where's my little piece that I've already cut out? Yeah. So I cut this out of the DSP already, and the die is going to sit on this. Can't wait to teach this class. I've got some pretty cards to share with my class. And I don't know, who doesn't love this? Sweet. Love it. So I'm just going to line that up and take my repositionable tape, and I'm just going to make sure that that's not going to move on my platform. Okay. We can actually go ahead and glue this down to the front. Look at that gorgeous back. Oh, I almost hate to put glue on it, don't you? And let's make sure that this is going the right way, that my words are going the right way. Okay. Glue that down. Oh, and I'm going to make sure that this is going the right way. I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way, but you can kind of see the words. They might be going both ways. Not sure. By the time you get everything on there, it probably wouldn't make much difference. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and cut this. I've had this little new problem. My table, I'm not going to push it, but my table all of a sudden has become kind of shaky. It's old. Gosh, it's got to be 25 years old. And I think that I just can't tighten the legs anymore. So I'm going to have to treat myself to a new table. But that means I can't, if I bring my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, my little one or my big one, and as I'm running it through, the table starts to shake, and then I have a shaky video, which is kind of ugly. Or the last time it just completely froze. Remember that, you guys? So I've taken it over to, I have a little side table right here, and that's where I'm cutting it. Okay, so you guys know how Stampin' Cut and Emboss works. Okay, so there we go. Don't you just love when the die matches up with the DSP? Stampin' Up! Started to do that, oh gosh, I don't know, 10 years ago. Love it. So that's my little focal point. But let's add some other things. Now, if you guys are making this card at home, you would do all of this before you put the pop and stuff in, right? You decorate your front of your card. But I wanted to show you the mechanics. Okay, now I've gone ahead and cut out some elements. I've got this piece here, cut out of pecan pie. That's this one here. Oh, hi, I love this one. Oh, thanks, Pauline. Gosh, it was like, yeah, I've been working on it for a while, trying to get up the nerve to do a live. So, yay, it worked. I've cut out a bunch of different little elements here. This is our distressed gold, okay, and then this is our regular gold. Let me grab. Okay, and I wanted to add gold because we've got so many gold elements as part of the designer series paper that we should incorporate it if we can. Okay, so I've got some of those. I've got this piece. I wanted some of the faux leather. Here it is, and it's got gold, of course, on the accents of it. And I think that's all I got on the front. So let's just start putting this on. Okay, I'm going to cut this down a bit. It's a bit too big. So this is where it's going to kind of go. So let's give it a haircut. I'm thinking about here. A little trim. Here we go. And what I tend to do is I tend to use just regular Scotch tape just to hold the elements in place until I'm ready to add dimensionals or glue, right? So now I just want, that looks good. I like the look of that. I want to make sure it's going to fit on my front. Yeah, that looks good. And then we've got some other elements here we can add. So we've got some gold and some gold behind like that. You just sort of play with it. Just can always change it. But let's get the main things down. So let's get the ones that are going to be in the background down. And then I want to add my faux leather here. So I like to tie a little knot in each end. Just going to make sure this might be a little bit too long. Let's have a look here. Okay, can probably just do a little bit shorter. Hopefully I haven't cut it too short. This is a leftover piece from my second roll because I've been playing with this a lot. Okay, so we're just going to kind of lay that down where we want it. Flatten that. And again, I just put down some Scotch tape because it works for me. Okay, I like that. And then this piece here, let's pop that up with some dimensionals. Doing the reach across here. And then now when I put these on, you can see that I'm using my dimensionals to just hold down those little elements that we taped down. You can never have too many pop-ups. There. I think that'll do it. Okay, and then we're just going to position that. That looks good. You can always go in and add some more dimensionals if you think you need them, but I think that looks fine. Now, I did go ahead and do some elements ahead of time, as I said, just because this is a long video. I have got a bunch of sayings here that have already been, have already been embossed. So let's just trim that off. I want to just have a little, and then just okay. And I'm going to just glue that across. And as I do that, I'm going to take one of those golds and see where I'd like that and stick it underneath the words. Okay. All right. Then I can just peel this back and put a little titch of white glue on there. Hold that down. Hold that in place. Oop. And then you can go ahead later and just start to make sure those are all glued down. And then I think could add another one here, maybe. Just maybe here. What do you think? Thinking to kind of balance it. I think I've got to do another one there. So I'm just going to put some glue on. My white glue is not cooperating. Okay, I'm just going to lift up her skirt, stick it under, hold that in place. Okay. Now, like I said, I started this morning thinking, yeah, should I do that other card? No, I'm going to do this. So I did have my little corks to show you, didn't I? I showed you those earlier. And now I have somehow misplaced them. But we'll add them later because I'm sure they're here. Oh, here they are. Gosh. Okay. Love these. Now, I did a bunch of cards earlier. Sent one to somebody who said to me, wrote to me and said, "Oh, I saw those cork rounds in the catalog, but I thought they'd be big and bulky and heavy, and they're not. And so make sure you check them out." So that's our front of our card. Okay. And then for your panels, you just want to grab, you could just use plain white on here and stamp. You can do whatever you like. I chose to use the designer series paper, and I went with the ones that were kind of neutrals where you could still stamp on them. So I've got 4 altogether. They are cut just slightly smaller than my panels. So 2 5/8 by 3 5/8, and I've got 4 of them, and then I just staggered them. Okay, so how are we for time? Should we do a few more? Should we do a few little things? Okay, let's do 2. I'll pick 2, and then the others I'll just show you. Okay, so let's grab one of each of these, and I've got some stamp ink pads here. We've got Old Olive, Pebble Path, and Pecan Pie. Pecan Pie reminds me of my favorite movie. Okay, if you know me, my favorite movie is When Harry Met Sally. And there's this scene where they're practicing, I don't know, they're making some funny words, and they're talking about pecan pie. And if you are a When Harry Met Sally fan like me, like I literally, it is my favorite movie of all time. And I have been accused of being Sally because I like to have things the way I like them. So I do order funny in a restaurant, and people kind of laugh at me. So I'm using Pebbled Path because, as Sally says, I just want it the way I want it. Like, right? Like, can I have this without this? But if you have this, then I'll have that. I said something to my husband the other day, and I said, "Oh, if we have," I can't even remember what it was. "If we have ice cream, then I'll have it heated up. But if we don't have ice cream, then I'll just have it cold." Like, and he goes, "Okay, Sally." Okay, so I've got this kind of grid. It looks almost like a graph paper, right? And now I'm using the pecan pie. And I'm just going to stamp once and then stamp again. So I'm just creating like a little collage, right? Okay. Then I took a stamp and pecan pie. I took this stamp here, which is a seed pod, right? I don't know what kind of seed pod, but Darwin would know. Good old Darwin. Okay, and then I'm just going to stamp that. Okay, and the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this up just a titch because I wanted to show you that I love this die. Like, this is like a little, in a notebook where you tab it, right? Isn't that cute? You could use that in your catalog, actually. Different colors. Ooh, and write on them. And then you could index your catalog. I am going to use it on here, but I wanted to add this stamp here. This, to me, is really a botanical stamp, right? Field, lawn, and garden, a monthly journal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm just going to, I think I stamped it and then cut it out, but that's okay. That's all I wanted because you're not gonna get the full thing in anyway. So just go for it. And then I'm just gonna glue that tab down. Now for these ones, I only use the tab on 2 of the panels because I'll show you why in a sec. Just gonna glue that down because it's going to extend. They're going to extend over the edge, and so you only want it on the 2 outside edges. So that's panel number 2 and panel number 4. Oh, and I've got ink on me. Uh-oh. You know what's going to happen now. All right, so let's go ahead and cut this puppy out. Hi, Christine from Victoria. You had Hockey Day in Canada yesterday over there, and I said to my husband, we should have gone over to Victoria. Just to see Kevin Bieksa would be worth the trip. Wonder if he's nice in person. Maybe it's good not to meet people that you admire. Isn't that what they say? Don't meet your heroes. Although I didn't meet him, but I was in line to get on the same flight as Elliot Friedman once at the Toronto airport, and we were lining up for a flight. And I thought, do I say something? Do I not say something? So it was during the time where they had the most horrific panel on Hockey Night in Canada, like really bad, like PJ Stock. Anybody know him? Oh, so awful. And I went up to him and I said, I just wanted to say, Elliot, you're the best one on that panel. And he said, oh, thanks so much. He was really, really nice. And I said, I wish they would get rid of PJ Stock. And I can't remember the other guy. He was a knob too. And he laughed and he said, well, you're not the first person who said that to me. Anyway, he was really, really fun, nice guy. And so I'm going to hope that Kevin is the same. So I'm going to grab one of these. I pre-cut this out of Pebbled Path. And again, my little trick of screwing that down. You sound like me. Love BX. I didn't head downtown though, as I don't like crowds. I was wondering how, it was a nice day, wasn't it, Christine? So it probably was going to be, I thought, oh, it's probably really busy. Do you know that hockey, remember they used to have, hometown hockey, remember? I'm not a huge fan of Ron McLean. However, he was good at that with, was it Tamara? She was really good too. And they actually came to New West, which we are a dinky little town. Well, we're not a town, we're a municipality outside of, what are we, 20 minutes from the border of Vancouver. But we are a small town kind of place. And they were right at Queen's Park. And I didn't go up there. I could have walked. I don't know why I didn't. Probably because it was a horrible freezing day. That could have been why. Could have been. Okay, so there's a panel. And then again, you could add some of those cork rounds, which again, I have misplaced because it's been 5 minutes. Oh, there we are. Anyway, pretty exciting to have Hockey Day in Canada from our capital. And the city looked really lovely because it's a beautiful city, Victoria. All right, so this one here has to go. Like, remember I said it has to either go on panel number 2 or panel number 4. So we'll just stick it on panel number 4. Now, remember, if you were with me from the beginning of this video, do you remember I said that you have a choice? You can decorate your panels before you put the mechanism in, like before you attach it to the mechanism. But with this particular card, I have a lot of elements that are popped up. And I think it would be really just another frustration to try and get this all going. I thought it was easier just to add it like that. Okay, so that's one panel. And then we'll do one more because I wanted to show you a little technique. And again, an oldie. Oh gosh, this is such an oldie but a goodie. Grab some basic white scrap. This time I'm going to grab Old Olive. And I've got this leaf stamp. I'm going to stamp 2 of those. And then I'm just going to take a blender pen. Do you remember these, you guys? Who remembers blender pens? And I'm just going to drag the ink. So I'm coloring with the ink. I don't even know if it matters if it's already dried, frankly, because this has glycerin in it. And so it's just going to let me pull that color. And it's just a softer look than using our Stampin' Blends. So that's what I've got. If you want to add a bit more, you can just take your ink pad and pull some color. And then just add a little bit of definition to your leaves. Pretty straightforward. Okay. So you can add a lot or a little. Okay. Okay. So then you would just take the coordinating die, and which is, here it is, just went flying somewhere. Grab it and just take that coordinating die and cut those both out. Okay. And I'm looking at the time and thinking it's marching on. So let me just show you the elements, because most of this you know how to do, right? So I just want to show you some different things. So there's that coloring that we just did. So cut those out. And then I've just added some linen thread because it's a very soft, light material. So it's not going to interfere with, like using the faux leather would be a bit much. I do love this die. Oh, I should talk about this die. Look at this die. This one here. So it creates that illusion of a notebook, right? And then another tab. Okay, so this is the one that we recreated. This one here, really simple. I've just stamped that leaf right on here, cut that notebook out, added the little tab. We've seen that, added some other things, and a little bow. Pretty simple. This one here is the one that we just basically did. I've just cut out an old olive element there. This one here I've stamped and embossed in white, and then the die is this one here. So we've got that just running across it. And then lastly, again, this is just stamped in pecan and cut out with the coordinating die. You could also use the designer series paper. It also is on that sheet, and you could cut it out, same as we did with the front, and just add some cork rounds. Okay, so there is the card. Now, did you want to see some other samples? Let me show you some other samples. Okay, this one we did together on a live. This is an angled, oh, I don't even know what it's called, angled something card. It's really simple. Check that out. Hi, Keisha. Oh, thanks, Ellie. Thanks. Yeah, it did come together nicely. We did this one together on a live, didn't we? Yeah, we did this one. We did this one, I think. Yeah, we've done all of these on a live because I was showing you different techniques because I've got that class on the 17th of February using the Nature's Sweetness. So if you guys joined late and you didn't see me talk about my class that's coming up on Facebook, please check out the link and I hope you will come. We're making 6 cards, 3 designs, 2 of each. Oh, I think it was this one we made. We made the purple one, right? And then, but it's the same card. We just use purples. I think that's all I want to show you on that. Do you want to see some more pop-ups? So I have another class on February 3rd. Now, you can still sign up. I think I have the I think I have the materials to still get this to you on time, depending on where you live. But here is perennial lavender. And oops, look, it pops up. Pop up. So again, just decorating all those little panels. It's kind of addicting once you've made one of these. And then lastly, I made this one yesterday. I might make this on a future live. This is the one that's using a whole bunch of elements here. We've got the hot air balloon. Yeah, that's what it's called. From the Lighter Than Air suite. Love it. And the same, that's the designer series paper. And then here's the panels. But I've incorporated the other, let me see. Oh gosh, what's the name of it? Somebody will know. Keisha will jump up and tell me what. Brighter Skies? Is that what it's called? There is a designer series paper in the Celebration, which you can get for free, called Sunny Days. And it coordinates with Bright Skies bundle. Okay, so I used two bundles. I used the hot air balloon bundle and then the Brighter Skies. Okay, look at these little lightning. I colored that with the Stampin' Blends, by the way. And then you see as it goes along, it's getting sunnier, and you brighten my cloudy days. And then I left this panel so that you could write something on it. And then we've got our clouds. That's from the DSP. That's free. Okay. So those are some pop-up cards. And I think that's it. So here's our card. Hopefully, well, I can do this. And then I can hopefully close this one. They do want to pop up, right? No pun intended. Can you sort of see? Ooh, how am I going to get those in? I know. I'm going to raise my camera and hope that that works out okay. There we go. Is that sort of getting them both in? The outside and the inside. There we go. Okay. Yay. All right. Let's go back over so I can see you and see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, I like putting the ribbon through the cords too. It's really great. That DSP is beautiful. On Wednesday, I'm back live on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. And on Wednesday, I am going to make the card I was going to make today with Brighter Skies. So come. Thanks, Mo. Thanks so much. Oh, hi, Levine. How are you? Nice to see you. Do you remember this old pop-in card from your days of stamping? Let me just show you some other stuff here. Okay, so when you order from me in January and you use the host code, oh, I see this has gone off a little. Here we go. And it's crooked. There we go. Move that up a titch. Don't need to see my floor. Okay. Use a host code. So in this case, it's P3CXVREV. I send you a little thank you gift if your order is $50 or more. But you also get a PDF with 12 cards and videos. So there's 12 video tutorials to show you how to make the 12 cards. And this month in January, we're using lighter than air. So I do it with a bunch of demonstrators from around the world. So check that out. And then what else? My blog. How about visiting my blog at stampcrazywithalison.ca? Love to see you over there. Any questions, you guys? Hopefully, I have explained how to do this card. Hopefully, I've given you the tips that you need to make the assembly. Because once you're over that, then you're just decorating panels. And you can keep the inside as simple as you want. You could just put little panels and stamp. You don't have to do anything over the top. I just love the suite so much that I wanted to make sure I used as much product as I could. This is irritating me. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Okay. Let me hide that so that's not in the way. There we go. Okay. Let's see before I go. Oh, thanks, Diane. I'll see you Wednesday. You don't remember it, Libby? Well, you can do it now. It's real simple. Really simple. I don't know how much this card would cost to mail. Probably, I'm going to guess and say $1.30, which isn't too bad. I think that's it's a pretty special card, especially it's a birthday card. So someone who's really special would love to receive this card, I'm sure. All right, you guys. So I will see you on, help if I was back looking at you. There we are. I'll see you on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Same that channel, same that time. And I'm going to give you a sneak. We are going to make something with the brightest, the one that I just said, the hot air balloon one. Okay. You have a granddaughter? Oh, congratulations, Lavine. How exciting. Oh my gosh. I remember when your daughter was like 10. Yikes. Time flies. All right, you guys, have a great day. Hope you get some stamping in. Until I see you again, stay well, stay warm, and happy stamping.